Hello again. Now today I'm going to be covering this new tool that I've just got. It's an oscillating spindle sander. It's made by VonHaus. Now I've never heard of the name before. Possibly I've heard it on a couple of things, but I've never really bought anything of theirs or gone into it at all. But I was in the market for an oscillating spindle sander. I found the size, shape and design and power and such that I wanted. Then I looked around for the best price on the market, keeping the specs the same. And this company came up very much cheaper than the others. In fact, a good 50% cheaper than what you'd normally pay. I paid £98 for the whole thing. Now, I was going to do an unboxing of it, but well, what's a bit of cardboard? We're not interested in it. What we've got in, we've got the machine in itself. Now, the machine itself, it's got a cast iron top, which is 370 that way by 295 that way. So a good sized top. You're working from this, but you've got plenty of backspace there to work from. Standard on-off switch on the front. Now the good thing about these is you've got the storage for all your bits all around it. Here's for your bobbins, they go around there. And then obviously the different size bobbins you need infills in there, and that's where all they go. So everything is always there to hand and simple to use. Now the machine itself, we've got a 450 watt motor there that's kicking out 2,000 revolutions a minute, unloaded of course, which is more than you need. And it has a travel, this is a vertical up and down travel of 16 millimeters, good thickness. Now obviously when you're working with oscillating sanders, you're on the table, it's moving, you're only using half the bobbin. Not unless you're using a big thick piece of wood. Traditionally, most of the time, you're using half the bobbin. You turn the bobbin over, use the other half, and it just keeps it cycled well. Now, in the box, you're getting the bobbins. They're quite heavy duty pieces of rubber. Really good stuff. And you've got 5 sizes of them, and then an even smaller one that goes straight onto the spindle. And then you get the sanding discs that go with it, the drums that go with it. Now they're not discs. You get the drums that go with it. These 80 grit, but you can get a lot finer than that. You can get coarser than that and all, but you don't need. But you get a set with it. Simple. And then also they give you these cover plates, which cover the gap that's left by that. Now for production, you've got dust extract at the back there, a 40mm port. 40mm is good because all your domestic pipe work is 40mm. So you can go get, if you're having trouble connecting to your domestics, go get from the plumbers a compression 40mm fitting. It will go on there, lock on, and then you can lock it onto whatever size you want, 38, 36. You know, it'll adapt to it. So it's a good size and it's a flexible as well. So with a bit of warm air, you could adapt it to what size you want. It's got screw holes down, so you can close it down to the floor should you need to. Now, storage, as I said, here is where you put your cover plates in there. Your bobbins, they've all got their own size space. They can't go anywhere else. They just sit there as they go down. So you've got space for all that lot, nice and simple. On the spindle, it's widened at the bottom there to stop the bobbins going down too far. But obviously, that's steel, that's rubber, it's going to play on it. You've got a plate, put that on first. Everything sits on that, nice and simple. Now, they're nice and loose. What you need is a washer. They give you a few sizes of washers. You need to put a washer on, which is smaller than the rubber. Get the nut on, and they even give you a spanner, and that even sits on board as well. So you've got that with you all the time. You push it down, make sure that you're seating nicely, and then wind it down. And like rubber does, as you tighten it, it expands, and you'll not get that drum off. That holds it good and tight, so it's there. And that is basically what you've got. There isn't really much else. Attach your dust extractor to it, turn it on, and away you go. Now, as I say, at the back there, little slot, that's where your spanner goes. It just stays there all the time. So let's plug it in and just have a listen before we start talking about sighting it and using it. Just see what sort of sounds we're going to get from this. Remember, it is a workshop, we're not going to sleep, so it doesn't have to be silent, but here we go. That sounds quite sweet, really, doesn't it? Not noisy at all. You put that in there, it's got holes in it, perforations around it, so your dust can be sucked down, but your wood's not getting dragged down with it either, and you're not spurring the edges off. The only thing I would say is, you should have thought of somewhere to put them. A little tray or something. I might just glue a plastic box to drop them in, because they can so easily get lost. If you're using one for a while, and you put these down somewhere in a workshop, things get lost very quickly. So, that's something to think about. Glue a little plastic box onto it so I can drop them in. Right, other than that, very nice machine. The VonHaus 450 watt oscillating bobbin spindle sander. Bit of a mouthful. Spindle sander. Right, next is to sight it. Now I have a sanding station already in the workshop. Now I bought this for primarily for when I'm doing cogs and such, because it's very good for sanding into the little gaps, but other than that it hardly gets used, so it's not that necessary. What I want to do is get that onto here in a position where I can use it all easily enough, so that can be moved forward a bit, get that on here, and this might move round, and all this dust extractor stuff can go through the floor and be connecting underneath instead of on top. So there's a little project, fellas. So that's a little project for next time. So for now, that's my oscillating sander. If you want to know anything about it, or you got any tips for me if you've used one already, shove it in the bottom and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.